On our recent trip cross country, we got a chance to meet up with Eric, a maker from Texas, and spend an afternoon with him in the garage. He's got a fantastic build. It is a miter saw stand or cart that hides the miter saw upside down when it's not in use. So the whole thing rotates. It's really cool. You guys might have seen this design around. It's pretty popular, but he made it out of maker pipe and did a fantastic job. I love it. And we have this great conversation with Eric. Let's check it out. Here's the miter saw stand. You can see it's in the up position, and then the whole thing rotates when you reduce those latches. When you take those latches off, the whole thing rotates, and then it's just a cart. It's great. And here's the conversation we had with him in the garage.
Yeah, kind of a full tongue.
Oh, I like that.
And yeah, I've seen people using these on like some swing arms for stuff on the van.
Right, and you just drilled right through the conduit outside of the T.
Yeah, I kind of measured it, and I hadn't used the maker pipe before, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do that. Thought I might be going through the bracket itself, and then I'd actually kind of screwed up.
This was his first build, by the way, with maker pipe, which is really cool.
Wedge-shaped, and you can see my leftover parts there. But then as I kind of got it going together and got a better look at it, I was like, well, I ought to just bring those things out a little bit further and taking into it the account or width of these brackets here.
Yeah.
And it actually worked out great. And I get the shrink wrap on here. It fits pretty tight, and it just rubs right against that thing. It's a nice friction fit.
Right.
And then I kind of got the main axle here or whatever, and I just flipped this thing over.
Oh, cool. So how's the main axle work, or the main pivot point?
I thought that would rotate with the maker pipe, but it actually crimps down pretty good.
Right.
But I wasn't sure I was going to fasten it, so it worked in my favor. And so what I did was I just routed it out with a 1/7 bit on both of these boards. There's two boards sandwiched together there, and it was still a little tight. So another thing that worked in my favor was I'd had some of this pipe. I just put some sandpaper on that thing and worked it in the channel, and it didn't take much. And I'd had it so the pipe would sit in there loose enough, but a snug fit, and it just spins on that pipe. It worked out really well. It's pretty.
Did you guys catch that? It's a great hack, I think. So he took those two pieces that were sandwiched together that makes the top, and he routed out a channel on each half with a 7/8 inch router bit, giving him basically a pivot point that he was able to use for this table to rotate. I think it's super smart.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
so cool.
And I've got it so I can roll it around, use it other projects I want to use as a work table or set another saw on top. Can lock it. This thing, I'd always had a bag of parts with it. I was carrying around like this clamp, and these I don't really need them. They're a stabilizer, but you don't need a stabilizer. And then I'm trying to figure out, how do I keep this? This is the wrench to change blades. I was trying to figure out how I could just clip that on there. These are like money clips. I was trying to brainstorm.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to put a couple of those on there. I didn't know. I guess I'd never really drilled through stainless steel. I didn't know it's really difficult to do compared to regular steel.
Yeah.
So I went through a couple bits, and the thing was smoking and burning.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. And I got looking it up, and they're like, well, you got to get cobalt infused steel bit, or drill bits. And I was like, well, yeah, okay. I about ordered a set. And but it was so much money for small ones. I'm thinking, I'm not ever really going to use these, and to get the full, because I wanted to, you got to do a smaller hole for your bolt, but then a bigger hole to get to the head, so I need like a 1/2 inch bit. And I'm like, am I really going to throw down $100 for these?
Right.
Clips? So I think I'm just going to epoxy those into place, and then then I can have a couple of them. And
That's
to
a
hold
good
that
hat.
place and spin
I like
it.
that.
So it's trying, it's allowed me to kind of keep everything contained here too. Boards just pine. I had some linseed oil laying around that I'd actually picked up on the curb. Somebody was giving away some stain and paint one day, so I threw that onto the pine, make it a little more durable so it doesn't gray out. Got the bottom shelf on there. I just I used some pipe clamps and brackets.
Sure, yeah.
On there to hold that. I don't tip it too much, or it might go crazy on me.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
real simple. It works great. Really happy with it. Because now I've got a place to store the saw. I've had it on my workbench forever, and it was everything you can see is kind of cobbled to one side there.
Right.
And so this thing was taking up 2/3 of the workbench, and now it's kind of got its own home. and then at the same time being multifunctional. It's like you never have enough workspaces.
Right.
I'm always setting stuff down or whatever. And I kind of took your advice.
All right, I'm embarrassed because I carry my miter saw without any stand or anything. I've just been hauling it around for years, setting it on the ground or a table, and I've thought of building this a few times. Didn't quite know how to approach it, so I think Eric's got it nailed. I'm excited to build this.
Whatever, you got to kind of sketch things out and trial and error, and I wasn't sure. And this is even, you can tell before I even realized what some of the pieces were. I'm trying to show 2 bolts, but it's really just the one.
Yeah.
But trying to think it through, how's this work? How's it go together? And I'm using this as my working document as I'm going. You can see me scribbling dimensions. Initially I didn't have this vertical piece on there. I thought, well, there's a big moment connection, a lot of weight. I don't know how it's going to work out, so I added that. What I didn't think, because I'd ordered some shrink wrap to do the whole thing in, just because I wanted to play around with it, wasn't sure. But I didn't account for the length that I would need for those braces, and so I didn't have enough, so I didn't use it at all. Which I was kind of, do I really want to do it or not? But so.
And it came out super strong. I mean, flipping that miter saw, it's a lot of weight on that miter saw, but it was solid in person. It was really like confidence inspiring. So it's a good design. That brace helped out a lot.
Look for another opportunity to use some.
It looks good.
Pretty slick.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
You did a great job. And this was your first build.
This is my first
Maker
build.
Pipe build?
Yeah.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love the way you did the hinge. So I guess it's just 2 boards screwed together. Then you just got the hole
so
for the pipe.
they had the 24 inch wide boards, which those were kind of, I had to do a lot of research and comparison, figured out. I'd looked at plywood, but then I didn't know. I knew I was going to be screwing into the side of it, and was kind of concerned how that would hold up. But going with a solid board or whatever really helped it out. But yeah, it's just glued and screwed together with that that routed joint.
I love it.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And like, even if you did it because it pivots, right? But I could see it.
Jake
even
and I
if
like
you're
it.
gonna make a top like this and put a couple pieces of conduit in there and build off of that,
Yeah,
might be really neat. Because I did something similar with our a work table I built recently, where the price of wood is crazy, right? So you're trying to use whatever,
it's like $60 here,
yeah, which is great, and you try to get that thickness, so you're screwing it together and gluing it. So I was doing that anyway with the desk I was building. And it would have been really neat to route out and put some pipes in to build off of.
And it looks cool too, I think, with the pipe and the connectors alongside of the board. That's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
Can you flip it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See it in action. That's the.
Yeah.
So exciting.
And it's pretty stable, It's you can feel it.
when it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then these guys,
Always got the
first one always
carriage
goes a
bolts
little
on the
easy,
top
but then
there.
it's pretty snug. But then pop, there you go.
Right.
And this is pretty beefy. I don't know what it would hold, but it's definitely durable and enough for any of my projects.
That's awesome.
Good. Right, because I've seen those videos too, of the flip over saw tables, and I've always wondered, how would we do that out of maker pipe? And I think you figured it out.
Here it is, yeah.
Here it is in person.
Here it is.
Cool.
Yeah, really cool way to use the 4-way. Just to have that vertical brace and then still be able to have that one going long ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So, I'm gonna take some.
Yeah, it adds to it too, and structurally. And then I was thinking, I don't know what I store on the bottom here, but it helps kind of
Right.
keep it constrained.
Uh-huh.
Too,
Can I try to flip it?
Yeah, go ahead. There's a little, if you pull these out, there's a little, like a hook there.
Oh, nice. Where do these come from? Did you buy those online?
Just Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe like a simple barrel lock like you'd see on like a restroom for privacy or something.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking at those, and then I came across these, and I was like, oh, these are awesome. These are heavy duty. And
Oh yeah.
And the spring is helpful too.
That's not bad at all. There you go.
I can see Dave building this in his future for his garage.
I need it because my chop saw at home, I'm always moving it around. It doesn't have like a dedicated workplace, right?
Yeah.
And I'm putting it on the ground where I can find space.
And that's a pain too, you know. You're always trying. If you've got long boards or something, you're always trying to raise them up on the ends to get them level. And yeah. Yeah, this keeps it mobile.
Really cool.
And a table for when you're not using it.
Yeah, that's a big plus too. You know, because you always need another table to set things on. I've always got sawhorses and who knows whatever's laying around. You know, using the nearest box or trash can, and you know.
Right. I like how you routed around the connectors on the bottom too. That's cool.
Yeah, that was kind of tricky too. You know, how do I do it? And
right.
It seemed to work out pretty.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Slick.
Thanks for building it for our trip.
Yeah.
Were you working late last night?
No, I had this. I did it over the weekend. And maybe I'd started Friday, and I tell you, that was a lot more cutting a pipe than I realized. I was getting blisters and stuff with my little pipe cutter, and I thought, well, I got this chop saw I bought, and I go to plug it in. I got it used off of a guy, and like it started for like 2 seconds, and then it quit going. I'm like,
oh no!
And I was checking all the circuits and stuff, and I've got all these circuit interrupters and nothing. So I started taking it apart, and so I've got a switch on order for it to replace, but it was back to the pipe cutter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it'd say, but I like the pipe cutter though, because you can, be pretty finite where you line up the blade with that thing, whereas me and saws, it could be anywhere within.
Good eighth either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like recommending the tube cutter because it's a simple solution. But electric, we have. I don't know if you've seen the portable bandsaw that we've used. But it's just like a handheld Milwaukee portable bandsaw.
Yeah.
It's super quick.
It's slick.
Yeah, it's great for lots of cuts.
And we've seen customers also use a different blade. I don't know what blade they use.
Oh,
but on their chop saw,
like a carbon or something.
Yeah, like.
See, yeah, I thought about it, and I thought, gosh, I don't know. Is that gonna mess up my saw or what? And
I think it's just carbide tip. I don't know. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
But we've seen customers do that too with their chop saw, which is what I'm gonna look into for mine. I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, and if you guys have a suggestion on what blade to use in a chop saw and a miter saw to cut conduit, definitely let us know. Bandsaw works great for portable stuff, but I want to have a nice setup where I, have a miter saw station, right?
Yeah.
Just cut conduit with.
And deburring and all that kind of stuff, like built in.
Yeah, I want that built-in deburrer too.
That's I've had this thing sitting around forever, and finally put it to good use, deburring.
I saw it. Yeah,
nice.
The brush marks. I like that. Look good.
Kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, sweet. Thanks so much for sharing this with us. And
yeah.
So
appreciate
awesome.
you having us.
Stop by. I kind of, you said you.
I hope you guys like that look, that casual look into Eric's build in his garage. You did a great job, Eric. Thanks so much for having us on the trip. We loved meeting you, and we hope to see a lot more builds in the future. If you like these videos, you want to see more like this, definitely consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Take care.